Your possible tornado would be right here, very near Blue Creek. And there's a marina right there. There's a Niffers restaurant. Niffers at the lake sits right here, kind of on the south side of that bridge that carries Highway 49 over the Blue Creek area of Lake Martin. Movement here is northeast, so the next road this will cross will be County Road 39 out here a little bit east of the Stillwater's development. So that's where we go next. So remember, radar is a snapshot of something that is moving constantly. So when you see this, understand the radar shows it's here, it's going to be a little ahead of that. So this would be crossing over Stillwaters and Highway 49 a few moments ago, and right now bearing down on County Road 39. And then from there, North Thornton Road over here, and eventually over to Churchill Road would be the next areas in line, again, if we still have that tornado on the ground. I want to toss back over to meteorologist Nick Gunner. Nick, well, you and I were looking at this when it was moving through Prattville, and we're getting kind of nervous about the possibility of a tornado there. We may have had one. We'll just get the National Weather Service to survey the damage that we know we've had. But walk us through these quick hitter tornadoes like this. These are very difficult for the National Weather Service to deal with, issuing the warnings, and very difficult for us as well to get that word out to you as quickly as we can, because a lot of times these things form between radar scans.
Yeah, sometimes it's in an instant, Josh, and one minute you'll see it on radar and the next minute it's completely gone. And so those are quick moving systems, quick dropping tornadoes that could be what has happened in Prattville and what could be currently happening over here in portions of Tallapoosa County. But you can see the bowing segment that we're currently watching, and it stretches from Alexander City through Tallahassee. And even though you may not be under this tornado warning, you will see gusty winds and heavy rain currently working its way across East Alabama, stretching toward Chambers County into Lee County, portions of Macon County up toward Tallapoosa County. And of course, we have that one tornado warned storm that we're currently watching here in portions of Tallapoosa County. You can see a lot of lightning within the storm cell. Here's our tornado warning right here, mainly crossing the lake and pushing through closer and closer to the Highway 280 corridor just south of Dadeville. That's where we're watching this storm. And nevertheless, even if you're not under this tornado warning, heavy rain currently working its way and prolific lightning toward Tuskegee, as we just got a new update to this severe thunderstorm warning as it continues working its way toward Auburn, Opelika, Beauregard, and points in Lee County. So we're looking at very gusty winds. We've had excess of 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts with this line within itself, and that itself could take down trees. Keep in mind, we've had a lot of rain today. We've had something called training, where we've had rain over the same area over and over and over again during the day today. So a lot of water on the ground, and it wouldn't take much for these trees to go down, and that could cause some issues too as we continue to see this line of wall of water, wind, and lightning work its way across East Alabama. But of course, we're still watching this tornado warned storm. Relatively small warning, because that's where we saw the quick spin up nature of this activity here in Tallapoosa County. So stay into that safe spot. And honestly, if you're anywhere in this severe thunderstorm warning, which includes Tuskegee, Notasulga, up toward Dadeville, Lafayette, over toward Langdale Valley, Auburn, Opelika, Beauregard, just stay in your safe spot until this line pushes into the state of Georgia, because anywhere along it, we will continue to see the potential for a quick spin-up tornado, lots of heavy rain, and it looks like we could see some damaging wind gusts as well. But it looks like they did allow that tornado warning to expire. It's no longer on our first alert radar here. But nevertheless, damaging wind gusts all possible as it works its way toward the east. Lots of lightning, heavy rain, and there could be the potential for more quick spin-up tornadoes within this line. So let's go ahead and walk through the rest of our first alert weathercast so we could show you what's going to happen over the next several hours. I'm still watching this heavy rain, sub-severe down in southern portions of Montgomery County. A lot of lightning within it, but as Josh mentioned, we're looking out to our west now, because this is why we're seeing showers and thunderstorms stretch over into Mississippi and into northern Louisiana. That's all thanks to a stalled boundary that's currently parked itself over central Alabama and over the deep south. And these showers and thunderstorms are riding along it. So that's why we're expecting waves of rain and storms as we move through the remainder of our night tonight. So as we look live outside, the Capitol camera was rocking and rolling earlier. We are calmer now here in the capital city, but I'm still seeing lightning from those showers and thunderstorms as they're working their way away from us. But keep that in mind. We're going to see more waves of showers and storms potentially as we move through tonight into the early morning hours tomorrow. Here's a look at current temperatures. Warm, muggy air still in place that these showers and storms are being able to feed off of. So we're looking at more rounds of off and on showers and thunderstorms through tonight. Threats: golf ball size hail, damaging winds 60+ miles per hour. But isolated pockets of tornadoes are also possible, and it looks like we could see some flash flooding as well because these storms are continuing to roll over and over again off of one another. So we have
Prattville video just in.
Okay, so we have some new video in here from Prattville. This is of that quick potential tornado that we've saw damage from, quick spin up tornado. Let's watch this together here. You can watch it full screen. This looks like someone's front porch. Lot of wind. I see the chair there kind of blow up.
I think this goes flying very almost instantly. Watch this. There it goes.
Look right there. Look how, yeah, it just whisks away real quickly.
So yeah, that's just it a few moments ago. This was in Prattville at around 9:42 p.m. So yeah, that's a pretty intense video there. We just got in moments ago, Nick.
Yeah, it shows you how quickly those winds can pick up with these showers and storms as they continue to work their way across the region. But there's that line that we're continuing to watch, and those training showers and thunderstorms causing flash flooding potential, damaging wind gusts, and lots of lightning within these storms. And we still have more of them off toward our west that we're going to watch throughout the next several hours. So we're going to be here all night, keeping a close eye out on this because our atmosphere is still kind of volatile because of that stalled boundary. A lot of warm, muggy air, temperatures well above where they should be at the nighttime hours, and so these storms are able to work with it. The good news is, though, I'm not seeing any warnings with any of these storm cells over here in Mississippi and Louisiana. Hopefully we can keep it that way as they move across the state of Alabama, but we've already been seeing damaging wind and the potential for quick spin-up tornadoes along this line that's currently working its way across the region. So let's go ahead and again get back to our Capitol camera. We're seeing lightning, gusty winds, heavy rain here a little bit earlier around the top of the hour. We are starting to calm things down now, thankfully, but we are looking at more showers and storms. Temperatures 60s, 70s, very warm, especially for South Alabama, where you haven't really seen much by the way of rain and storms this evening. So again, we're going to keep with off and on showers through tonight and into the morning hours tomorrow. A damaging wind, really our primary threat now, with 60+ miles per hour. Lots of lightning and also flash flooding could potentially happen in those storm cells that dump a lot of rain over the same area over and over and over again. Tornadoes remain possible with those quick spin-ups possible. So stay weather alert. Here's a look at First Alert Future View. We're going to walk you through. Here's 1 o'clock in the morning, still continuing with showers and storms as that initial batch we're watching is moving over here to the state of Georgia. And then we'll keep with more waves of showers and storms as early as 7 o'clock in the morning, really stretching through about midday before we finally start to see this exit, this whole system, and we dry things out Monday night and into the morning hours Tuesday. But we won't be done with the rain and storms just yet because I'm also tracking more shower activity on Tuesday. So we're going to want to keep the First Alert weather app handy, not only through the night, but as we move through the next few days. And also we'll finally dry things out because look at all that rain we're expecting on Tuesday thanks to a disturbance moving through. And then we finally start to dry things out as we head toward our Wednesday, Thursday. So a quick note here, as we head to bed, if you're heading to bed, maybe you have to get up early in the morning. Don't rely on those outdoor weather sirens or social media to get your watches or warnings. Your best line of defense, as always, is the First Alert weather app and a NOAA weather radio. Believe me, that NOAA weather radio will wake you up in a dead sleep because of how loud they can be. So definitely good advice for you if you are trying to head to bed. I know it's 10:42 at night. A lot of people are heading back to work tomorrow, school tomorrow as well. So have that NOAA weather radio and the First Alert weather app, both great tools to have with to receive reliable watches and warnings here. So let's go ahead and get real quick to the First Alert 7-day forecast just to show you what we're expecting. Showers and thunderstorms continue through the morning time, lingering through about midday, and then we're looking at another wave of rain expected to impact Alabama as we head toward Tuesday, trending a lot more sub-severe compared to what we're continuing with tonight. Heading toward Wednesday, Thursday, finally starting to dry things out. Temperatures will be cooler, 70s Wednesday and Thursday, lows of the 40s and 50s. That's where we should be this time of year. And then as we head toward the upcoming weekend, temperatures rise again back into the 80s. We're looking at another chance for rain and thunderstorms thanks to another cold front as we head toward next weekend. So Saturday's a day we'll be watching, but just First Alert heads up. We'll be watching Saturday closely with showers and thunderstorms potential there. Lows will be back into the 60s and 50s with trending cooler conditions as we head towards Sunday. So that's a quick look at our First Alert 7-day forecast. Josh, do we want to toss back to you real quick? All right, let's head back over to Josh and see what's happening in the Vance Law Firm Storm Track Zone right now.
Hey, Nick, thanks so much for that, walking us through that. Important to sort of balance what's happening right now, what happened in Prattville. We've gotten a lot of reports and photos and videos in here in the last 5 to 10 minutes now. Also, what I wanted to show you here, there's a little bit of rotation I've got my eye on here. This would be in southeastern Montgomery County near the 82-231 split. So this would be down near Warrior Hill Church is right up here. This would be near Sykes and Cons as well. So that's it right there over the Canty community there in southeastern Montgomery County. That's Hayneville Ridge Road. That's Highway 231, Troy Highway heading down towards the Pike County line. So there's no formal warning with this yet. The barren data here suggesting some weak rotation. In our manual sort of analysis of the data suggesting the same. And as we say that, the National Weather Service shares they are too watching that. So we'll keep an eye on that. In fact, let's just do this. We'll just make the decision that we will continue with weather through the end of the 10 o'clock newscast. So from a producer standpoint and everyone else, we're going to be in weather coverage until at least 11 o'clock, given some of the reports that we're getting in now. If you're just joining us now, we've had some damage in Prattville and Millbrook. In the last few moments, I've gotten some reports in via Facebook and social media of damage to an apartment complex there in Millbrook. So we're working on chasing all of that down. There's a confirmation process that sort of has to happen here. If I told you everything that I get on this, we'd be here all night and half of it would be not correct. So I do appreciate the reports we get, but we also have to sort of verify them as well. That's our kind of obligation as a news gathering organization, as a group of journalists here. That's what we do. So we've got our news folks working on all of that. The Prattville damage, a lot of tree damage. I haven't seen a lot of, this is not the kind of thing where we've seen homes just blown away. This is not like what we had back in Mississippi. We have had some trees down on homes. We know that has happened in at least one situation there in Prattville earlier this evening. So this all came through around 9:40 to 9:45 there in Prattville. Then from there it went up towards Millbrook. And now that same storm is up here in eastern Tallapoosa County. It has the rotation has primarily gone away with that. So that's what's left of it now moving through Chambers. We'll watch it like a hawk, but we don't see anything scary right now. Then this down in east central Montgomery County is one we're watching too. This is moving east over into Bullock. So if you live near Hector and Shopton and Fitzpatrick and Mitchell, you need to kind of stay close as well. Numerous trees blown down around Prattville. That's a new report in seconds ago from the National Weather Service. That matches very well the reports that we've been getting in here in the Prattville area, that we've seen a fairly substantial amount of tree damage anyway, and some structural damage in spots. Thankfully, we have not heard of any life-threatening injuries or anything like that. It's early, but we haven't heard of that. And based on the radar data that we saw, this would have probably been an EF0, maybe an EF1 tornado that was on the ground for a relatively short distance. This was not some EF3, EF4 that was on the ground for 60 miles. It wasn't that, but it doesn't really matter. We say that a lot to you, right? If that thing hit you, it mattered. That was the tornado of the year if it hit you. So that's why we try to stay as on top of these as we can. A task that, quite frankly, quite honestly, has been pretty difficult tonight. The atmosphere is in this mode where it can produce tornadoes. It's like playing whack-a-mole. By the time you see it on radar, it's already touched down and back up. So that's sort of what we're kind of contending with in this sort of situation. So we're watching the rotation there, southeast Montgomery County, moving into Bullock now. So northern Bullock County, Union Springs, Hector, Shopton, Fitzpatrick need to stay on your toes. This would be a little south of, or pretty close to Macon East. Academy out here along the, that's a little further north. So it's a little south of Macon East out here. Moving on towards Mitchell and Fitzpatrick. This will go south of Pike Road. So if you live in Pike Road, if you live out at the waters, you don't have to worry about this specific storm or that rotation. It's gone through you already. It's south of you. Now, back to the west, though, we've got to point this out. There are more clusters of storms back here into Wilcox County, Dallas County, and Choctaw County. So we're not going to be done with this, I'm afraid, anytime terribly soon. We are going to continue to see kind of wave after wave here of thunderstorms and potentially isolated tornadoes and quick burst of wind that can cause wind damage as well. I want to check in with meteorologist Nick Gunner over at the weather wall. He's been tracking this with me for, Nick, it seems like hours. This has been a long day and a long night already, and I'm afraid we're not quite done yet.
No, we've been tracking the strong storms this morning that dropped a very large hail across portions of central Alabama. We've seen pictures from this morning of damage because of the large hail with those showers and thunderstorms. And then we saw this line start to work its way across the region. And that's currently what we're most concerned with as it continues to push toward the state of Georgia. And you're right, Josh, there are more showers and storms off toward our west that we're going to keep a close eye out on because the atmosphere is still volatile enough that it could interact with this. Because keep in mind, it's been relatively quiet down in South Alabama, a lot of warmer air down south that some of these storms could feed into. But essentially, we have a stalled boundary that is causing the waves of showers and storms that's currently working their way across central and South Alabama. So that's currently what we're seeing here as we check out radar. We'll move a little bit toward Auburn, down toward Opelika. You're really getting the brunt of this shower and thunderstorm activity and getting a little bit closer here. Yeah, that's what we're seeing as it moves toward the Georgia line, the Georgia-Alabama line. So very windy conditions, potential gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour. We've seen upwards of 50 over in portions of Prattville and around 40 plus over in Dallas County near Selma as we continue to see the spin of this shower and thunderstorm activity work through Chambers and Lee counties. Those are the two counties now under this severe thunderstorm warning. We are still watching this storm cell very closely here. The one that had the potential for rotation, there's still a lot of lightning within this storm cell as it moves toward Bullock County and southern Macon County. So that's another thing we're contending with. These things are lightning makers. They are electrified as they work their way across toward say, Union Springs and southern Macon County, close to Tuskegee. Just a wet and treacherous going along Interstate 85 tonight, all the way from Montgomery up toward the state line and points toward Atlanta as this shower and thunderstorm activity continues to work its way. But again, the spin of this, you can kind of see it there with each radar scan. You know, we had that tornado warning there in Tallapoosa County as this complex system spins its way toward the state of Georgia, giving us that damaging wind threat and lots of lightning threat. So we'll move a little bit over here toward Clanton, Coosa, and northern Tallapoosa County. Also seeing this over toward Randolph, northern Chambers. You see that blue box there. That is actually a flash flood warning. We've had rain kind of train over the same area just all morning, all afternoon. And that's the reason why we're seeing a lot of heavy rain and the potential for some flash flooding. And we're looking at more rain just off toward your west, toward Brent, and all that is moving in that same direction, all because of that stalled boundary. And you can see this shower and thunderstorm activity over here in Mississippi that'll work its way into the state of Alabama over the next several hours. So we'll have to watch these closely. The good news is as they move through eastern Mississippi, we're not seeing any warnings with them right now, but we'll have to keep a close eye out on them. And I'm seeing some more near Gilbertown, that's in Choctaw County, Alabama. Shower and thunderstorm. So a little first alert heads up, southern Marengo County going to get into some of this action as we move through the next several hours here. So that's currently where we stand here in our storm track zone as we continue to watch this line of showers and storms. A very hefty thunderstorm currently working its way just north of Camden right now. A lot of lightning, but not seeing anything severe. I know Camden, you've been kind of inundated with severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings today, and you're continuing with more shower and thunderstorm activity as we speak. A little bit of lull in activity here in the capital city, but we could see some more showers and thunderstorms tonight. And really, it's just this Boeing segment of showers and storms that has marched its way fully across the state now, making its way toward Georgia. That has been causing us some issues with quick spin-up tornadoes, heavy rain, lots of lightning, and damaging wind gusts. So that's currently where we stand right now as we watch these showers and storms work their way across the state. Let's head back over to Chief Meteorologist Josh Johnson. Josh, are you getting any new information in with any damage reports or anything like that we've seen from this storm system that's currently through Chambers and Lee County right now?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of those. So far, it seems to be not the kind of damage that we associate with a lot of injuries, a lot of fatalities. This seems to be more some roof damage, some trees down on a home or two, a lot of tree damage away from homes, some power outages. And no damage is good damage, but if you think back to when January 12th happened in Selma, and then when the long track tornado moved across Autauga, Elmore, Coosa, Tallapoosa, Chambers, this is a different animal that we're dealing with tonight in a better way. This is not that kind of EF2, EF3 tornado. This seems to have been a combination of one or two brief tornado touchdowns and then a larger area of strong straight line wind gust that are still ongoing at this hour. That's a really nasty looking little miniature bow echo over here coming into Lafayette there in Chambers County. So this is moving east. Heads up, Lynette Valley there in Chambers County, this could produce wind similar to that of a tornado. So be on your toes there in Chambers. Back into Lee County, heavy rain, gusty wind now coming into the Beauregard area. I'll quickly show you this. We don't see any rotation out here right now. We do, however, see some signals in the data that there's some pretty strong wind in this. So this will kick on through in the next 20, 30 minutes. Stay close to that safe place. This is the type of situation where we could have a tornado drop pretty quickly within that line of storm. Same thing over into Bullock County, by the way. We've been monitoring rotation here. It showed up on radar, by the way, and then we also had some storm spotter reports of some rotation out here as well. This will be near Fitzpatrick down here in Bullock County. Some good news to pass along. The tornado watch has been canceled, so at least temporarily the risk of severe weather easing down a little bit. Autauga, Chilton, Coosa, Elmore, and Marengo counties. So again, that would be kind of this corridor back here. There are more storms up here, but the atmosphere has been pretty well turned over in this part of the state. So the overall tornado risk isn't as high out here as it is back off to the east and the southeast. And when we go to the big perspective here, you'll notice more of this extending back into Mississippi. So we're going to have on and off showers and storms most of the night. We're going to have on and off showers and storms tomorrow morning. So this will not be something that just we wake up and or we go to sleep in an hour and it's all gone. But I do think that the highest severe weather risk is now through the next hour or two. If we can just sort of get through that, we'll start to get into a better place here and start to get into just a more it's a stormy scenario, and you still need to be paying attention, but the overall risk level will begin to go down. It's not there yet, though, in most of our area. Now, in Autauga, Marengo County, the tornado watch has been canceled in Autauga, Chilton, Coosa, Elmore, Marengo. So there, the risk of severe weather is lower for now. It's not gone, but it's lower. And then this is really the main corridor of concern right now here into Bullock County, Macon County, Lee County, and Chambers County. Strong straight line wind gust. We can't rule out a quick tornado spin up there. And we're also going to have to keep our eyes out for some hail and a lot of lightning in these storms as well. I'm going to toss back over to meteorologist Nick Gunner for a quick update. And I'll be back in just a moment with more information on this ongoing severe weather episode. Nick, it has been a heck of a day and a heck of a night already.
Yeah, that's right, Josh. As mentioned earlier in the day, we saw severe thunderstorms dropping large hail that was considered destructive for many communities. And then we had this wall of wind, water, also lightning and damaging wind gusts as it continues to work its way across the state. This is still the severe thunderstorm warning that we currently have. That includes portions of Chambers and Lee counties and a small sliver of Macon County there just outside of Tuskegee. Lots of wind along the leading edge of this line as it's transitioning over into the state of Georgia. And in fact, the National Weather Service up at Peachtree City, that's outside of Atlanta, has elected to extend that severe thunderstorm warning from Columbus, Georgia up toward LaGrange. So that's moving out of the WSFA 12 news coverage area and into our sister station over there in Columbus, Georgia. Now, as we continue to watch these showers and storms, we will continue to see more wet and stormy weather work its way closer to the capital city. So if you're with us tonight here in Montgomery, you can see I'm watching this cell very closely. Sub-severe, which is the good news, but we're seeing lots of lightning within this, and we could see some more wind gusts. So keep that in mind here in Montgomery, that we're not done with the shower and thunderstorm activity just yet, as we could see this move closer to the capital city and impact us in the next hour or so as we continue to watch this line move through the area. There's more rain near Thomasville and north of Demopolis near Eutaw, Alabama, and we're still watching that shower and thunderstorm activity work its way out of Mississippi and into West Alabama. But again, the most concerning part of this storm cell that we're watching is currently working its way from Auburn toward Opelika, up toward Lafayette, down toward Beauregard, as that continues working its out of Alabama and into the state of Georgia. So let's try to go to a home view here. We'll go to the big picture and show you what's happening. Josh mentioned that they've allowed to trim off some of this tornado watch, and that is the fact up toward Autauga County, Chilton County, Perry County, Marengo County, but we still have this tornado watch active for a good chunk of our region, from Montgomery, Union Springs, Eufaula, Troy, down toward McKenzie, over toward Monroeville, Jackson, Thomasville. So everywhere you see this shaded area of yellow, this tornado watch continues through, say, 1 o'clock in the morning. That's when it expires. The only strongest storm that I'm currently tracking here is the one right here from Auburn, Opelika, up toward Lafayette, as we continue to see this line of showers and thunderstorms work its way. Let's put this all into motion, and I can show you where this is heading. You can see it's drifting pretty much due east, as we have a stalled boundary that a lot of these showers and thunderstorms are currently riding along. And so that's the reason why we're seeing this activity kind of go over the same area over and over and over again, dumping a lot of rainfall too, because we do have this flash flood warning here from Clanton toward Alexander City and Randolph County, southern portions of Randolph County near Milltown. We're continuing to watch this activity here. We'll go ahead and go to the analysis tab. I'll also go to where the warnings are, and you can see there they are right there. That's the severe thunderstorm warning, just including portions of Lee, Chambers County, and they continue to trim it back as the leading edge of this shower and storm activity moves over into the state of Georgia. So just stay in your safe spot for the next 30 minutes or so. Let's get this warning expired, get it over into Georgia, and then we can go ahead and exit that safe spot from Opelika up toward Valley, down toward Phoenix City. Just to the north of you guys is where this thunderstorm activity is going. Hearing thunder here in the studio in downtown Montgomery as we continue to see this line of showers and storms work its way across the region. We'll go back to our analyst mode, and we'll go ahead and look at the velocity data with this and see if there's anything concerning that we should be keeping a close eye out on. Not seeing anything right now. That's the good news. Just the wind threat within the storm cell and heavy rainfall, frequent lightning, but I'm not seeing any signs of rotation with any of these storm cells, which is the good news currently as they work their way across the region. So as Josh mentioned, we're trying to trend down the tornado threat, but it's just not over just yet. So stay with us, and we'll keep you up to date as always as we continue to watch this move through. So let's go back to our analysis. We'll go back to the radar, and then we'll head back home, and we'll show you the big view of what we're currently tracking as these showers and storms work through the region. Let's take some perspectives outside. We want to see what you're seeing across the region. We'll head to our Capitol camera, and via our HealthStar camera network, there's the state capitol. This thing was rocking and rolling a little bit earlier, calming things down a bit, but we are expecting more shower and thunderstorm activity over the next several minutes. So that's what we're currently seeing here in downtown Montgomery via our HealthStar camera network. We'll try to get another perspective on here. Let's see if we can get our Tuskegee camera to load. Looks like it's not wanting to right now. I know they're contending with lots of rain in portions of Macon County, so that may be the issue with that one there. But currently, that is kind of where we are as these showers and storms work their way across the region right now. So let's head back over to Chief Meteorologist Josh Johnson. Josh, what are you seeing outside right now? Are you hearing any more damage reports? I know there will be trickling in as more people become aware of what happened over in portions of Tallapoosa County. And are we hearing anything about Elmore and portions of Tallapoosa County so far?
Oh, Nick, we have heard a few in Elmore as well. Some damage to an apartment complex there. We don't know. We think that was mainly roof damage. This is not a scenario where the apartment was blown away or anything like that. This was roof damage, which is it's bad. I'm not saying it's not, but for those of you who have family members who live in an apartment complex, I do want to give you some peace of mind. I think this is more, at this point, based on the available information, this seems to be more in the really major inconvenience category than the we've lost a lot of people category. So neither are good places to be. I wish we were all at home in bed and and the weather was calm, but that was not the case. Power outage update. 11,500 Alabama Power customers without service in central Alabama tonight. The numbers break down there. Elmore County at around 3,900, Tallapoosa 3,400, Autauga around 2,100, Wilcox around 1,150, Montgomery County around 600. And we can actually show you on the map what that sort of looks like here using our exclusive Barron technology, part of the Vance Law Firm Storm Track Zone here. We can dive into it and show you those power outages on a statewide level. So that's sort of what we're looking at right there. Is that
Radar now headed.
Now headed again?
Yeah.
That's odd. We need to fix that.
We do, but it works.
But hey, I appreciate the workaround. That's half of our job is working around things, just so you know. Again, there's Tallapoosa at around 2,000, and you'll notice here the two counties hit hardest here in the last 30 minutes have the most power outages. Into Elmore County, we're at around 7,000, Autauga around 5,000. Now, the reason that number is higher than the Alabama Power numbers that were just shared with us via our good friend Michael Jordan, you've got power co-op folks out here as well. So this would be some Central Alabama Electric co-op customers involved with that and some other co-ops involved there. So the numbers here, yeah, you've got between these three counties, you're up around 14,000 customers without power in Tallapoosa, Elmore, and Autauga counties due to a combination of things. My suspicion is what we've dealt with here are a couple to a few, 2, 3 quick tornado touchdowns, probably EF0, EF1, embedded within a huge area of damaging wind gusts. So the National Weather Service survey teams are going to have their work cut out for them in figuring out which damage was caused by which thing. But we'll let them do their thing there. They can figure all of that out. They are some of the best anywhere at doing that. Our office in Birmingham especially does phenomenal work on that regard. So, hey, back to the radar here. Strong straight line wind gusts now coming through over here in Chambers and Lee. And I think what we'll plan to do, we'll carry this until about 11:10 p.m. And at that point, if we don't see anything dangerous, we're going to get you back. We're going to let you go for a moment. We're not going anywhere. We're here all night watching this whole thing unfold. We'll post updates to Facebook, to Twitter, to the weather app as well as the night unfolds. So just because you don't see us on TV doesn't mean there's a problem. And let me say this, too. While I have you here, I've gotten 10 messages tonight asking me why we're not on. And I'm reading them while we're on. And it is people who are trying to watch our live coverage on Facebook. We post the live coverage to Facebook as best we can. Our digital team does. But sometimes it doesn't get on there. The most reliable way of watching this coverage, there's two of them. The first one is on WSFA TV. Just fire up the TV. And you can get it free over the air with an antenna. You can get it on cable. You can get it on satellite. Just watch on TV. The second one is to watch on our app, on the WSFA First Alert Weather app. We live stream the coverage there. Just go to the app, scroll to the bottom. There's a huge button. It says Watch Live. Tap that, and you'll watch the live stream. You can't necessarily rely on Facebook to pass along that live stream. There are sometimes some technical hiccups involved there on our end and on Facebook end that can prevent you from getting it fastest. So let me just, again, I say this a lot, Facebook is really not a phenomenal, great way of getting weather information. Stick with WSFA TV, stick with our First Alert Weather app, and you will be better covered, I promise. That's just the reality of it all. So to sort of summarize here, what we're going to do, we're going to go back to programming in about 2 minutes unless we see something on radar. I'll do a final radar sweep at about 11:10, and we'll walk through it together and see what we see. If we see anything dangerous, we will continue coverage. If we don't, we'll go back to programming, but we will be here analyzing storms in the background. So storm damage in the Hunting Ridge neighborhood in Prattville. There's some damage kind of around a lot of parts of Prattville into downtown. At this point, that damage seems to be primarily roof damage and trees falling on things damage. Not the kind of damage where entire city blocks have been swept away. It's not like that. We're talking roof damage in a few spots. We're talking tree damage in some spots. We're talking trees falling on houses in some spots. As to this point, we have not heard any reports of any significant injuries anywhere in this. This is, again, mainly in the Prattville area. There are additional areas of strong wind that have created problems in Watauga, Elmore, Tallapoosa, Chambers, Lee counties. We potentially had another tornado touchdown in the Millbrook area. We'll wait and see. We have additional thunderstorms ongoing at this hour. The worst of them are now pushing into Georgia. There's another cluster of storms back near Selma. But when we look at the data, when you really dive into this Selma batch of storms, well, what's the danger here? There's some lightning, sure, but not a lot of people are outside at 11:09 p.m. The wind on this storm around 30 miles an hour, not strong enough to produce damage. And there's no rotation either. Not a dime's worth of rotation in there. And the wind speeds, like I mentioned here, on the low end, 40, 32 miles an hour. So we're not terribly concerned about that storm right now. We'll watch it, but we're not going to stay on TV for it. Then back to the east, we'll just go up and down this line too. We'll go into Birmingham and tap on that storm relative velocity button. That's just a big fancy phrase that means there's a storm rotating. And right now, the answer is an overwhelming no. This rotation near Union Springs has fallen apart. And then back up here into Lee County, you'll notice not a lot of red and green coupled together. That's what we look for when we sort of walk through this. It's that sort of thing. Maybe some modest rotation south of Valley. It will be in Georgia in a matter of 60 seconds. So that's in Chambers County, which is technically in the Columbus market. We'll watch it. I don't see anything dangerous, though, on the screen. So what we're going to do, we are going to ease back into programming right now. Please understand we're not going anywhere. We will be here all night. We will keep you up to date. We will have live reports from Prattville tomorrow. So watch Today in Alabama starting at 4:30. It runs till 7 a.m. We will be live in Prattville tomorrow. We will go over the damage. We'll have a much clearer assessment of what all has happened by that time as well. So for now, we're going to head back to programming. If we see anything dangerous whatsoever, we will jump back on. I would urge you, make sure you have the First Alert Weather app downloaded, ready to go. And if you have a weather radio, check the reception on it before you head to bed, just to be safe. Overall, the severe weather risk starting to wind down, but we're not quite done yet. So stay weather aware over the next few hours. We'll do some updates through the night as well, right here on WSFA 12 News. So keep an eye there, keep an eye on the app, and we will be keeping an eye on the weather. On behalf of everyone who's helping us get on TV right now, on behalf of meteorologist Nick Gunner, I'm Chief Meteorologist Josh Johnson. You've been watching continuous weather coverage on WSFA 12 News. We'll be here for you throughout the remainder of the night.